This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so I can see Kanchana, Mohit, Naveen, and Nutan. Uh, okay, so last lecture, if you remember, like we discussed some of the pricing method, discounting methods, right? So as part of that, we discussed like couple of pricing method, discounting methods, and as part of those, like we discussed like couple of scenarios there where we can go and use those pricing discounting methods. But there are some few cases actually where we don't. Sorry, I make this. There are few cases where we need to go ahead with the customization and to update the pricing there, right? So to achieve that particular thing, Salesforce CPQ provided price rules. So what are these price rules in Salesforce CPQ? So basically price rules are used to update some of the pricing related automation. So let's take example, right? As I mentioned in last lecture as well. So there are few companies like Flipkart or Amazon who are giving you coupon codes, and based on that promo code or a coupon code, whatever you are saying, based on that you want to apply some discount. So in that case, this is your custom logic. 100% is custom logic, right? So it's not something Salesforce CPQ will support. So you need to add your customization to support these things. So what you need to do, you need to give option to your sales rep to enter your promo code or promotion, whatever the offer code you have. And once they enter, based on that offer code or something, whatever you are entering, you want to apply suppose 20% discount to particular product, right? So these types of things, if you want to achieve with the help of Salesforce CPQ tool, Salesforce CPQ provided price rule concept in Salesforce. So the definition of price rule is price rules inject a static value, field value, or summary variable into a quote or quote line field. So you can enter static value that, as I mentioned, like 15% discount you want to give, 20% discount. That is static, right? So whatever you want to give discount, that discount you can give. So we will discuss. Field value means it will take the value from another field and paste it into the copy it from field A and paste it into the field B. And summary variable is something different concept which we'll be discussing once we're done with the price rule session. So basically, don't worry about this. If you want, price rule is similar to our workflow. If you have worked on workflow rule, process builder flows, triggers, so similar to that, price rule is also, it's not like just writing the pricing related things. You can achieve something else as well by using price rule. So basically, what you can think for the price rule, when you want to update any CPQ quote object field or a CPQ quote line fields, you can use price rules. So sometime if you want to update, for example, whatever the quote's duration is there, you want to trickle down all the duration to quote lines, right? So you can write down price rule. So price rule is basically to update any field from quote and quote line object. It's not like just pricing related fields. Any field you can update on quote and quote line object by using price rules. So let me show you how to do that so you will understood better. So if you go to here, you search by price rules. As I mentioned, right? So you can create your own price rule as well. So if you go to the new, right? So if you go to the quote, so what I'm trying to say, let's take that scenario, right? So if you want to give some offer code on your quote, they will enter some offer code there, right? So for example, Diwali 20 or whatever, right? So they will enter that offer code, and based on that, they will get some discount. So what you need to do, you need to go to the I'm just giving you scenario. So what you need to do, you need to provide some fields on quote object to enter offer code, right? So if you go to the object manager, I already created, I think, that field, but let me show you that any field you can create on quote object, right? So on fields and relationship, if you want to create one field here, so let's say new field which will be text field, so there you can enter your offer code, right? So if I say text field, if I click on next, right? Here you can see like whatever the field name you have, offer code, for example, right? So you can enter offer code name. So here you can go and enter length and you can save this. I already created that field, but this is the field which we can use from quote object. So I think I already created that. Let me show you offer code. Yeah, this is the field I created, similar to text field with 255. So this field I added on the layout as well. So if you go here, I can see offer code here. So if I enter here something offer code, maybe for example, Diwali 21. So this is my offer code. If I enter this code, you will get some discount, right? This is my requirement. I'm just explaining. You don't have any pricing discounting out of box methods to achieve this, because this is something custom for your business, right? So it should not be achieved with the help of Salesforce CPQ. I mean, it's achieved with the help of Salesforce CPQ, but you cannot use out of box pricing and discounting tools, right? So that's the reason price rules comes in picture. You need to create new price rule. So let me explain few of the fields here. So you need to create your own price rule here, which will you can give the name whatever you want, right? For example, I have test, not test, apply maybe Diwali offer. I'm just say giving example. So you can activate that, right, price rule, and you can give the evaluation order here. So in Salesforce CPQ, actually in your company as well, many companies, they are writing multiple price rules, right? This is one of the requirement. There can be multiple requirements in your company to add custom logic to that. So what we will have, you can have different price rules, right? Right now you can see two price rules are here. I can create one more price rule. So evaluation order and evaluation scope is taking care of when which price rule will run. So what is the order of execution in that case? So let's take example. So let's say I have different price rules. So for example, uh, this things, okay. So let's say I have price rule 1. Okay, I have price rule 1. I have different price rules, right? So these many price rules are there. So there is one field evaluation order. So this evaluation order field will decide when you which price rule will run first, which price rule will decide. So for example, if you are running 1 is saying 2, this will be run at third place. So whatever your order is there, you can run your price rules, right? Maybe you can say 6, 5. So this is how your evaluation order comes in picture when you want to run your product, I mean price rules. So right, this is evaluation order. So I will say here maybe 5, for example. And then not on this particular evaluation order, it will decide the scope. There is one more field when your price rule will run. So there is evaluation scope is configurator and calculator. So configurator means when you go to the code, let me edit the lines. So there are actually, I will explain like what are the triggering points to run your price rule. But when you go to, this is my code line editor, right? So when you click on calculate button, it will run price rules. So every time, if you remember, if I click on calculate, it's running some rules. So it's running your price rules, right? So this is the triggering point. If I selected evaluation scope as calculator, so this will only run on the some of the places like calculator. If you add product, remove product, change quantity on quote line editor. So if you are changing something on quote line editor, then and then your price rule will run. If your evaluation scope is calculator, if it is configurator, configurator means when you are actually configuring the products, only that time your price rules will run. So if I say I selected Norton antivirus bundle, if I selected that, right? So only this particular screen, configure product screen, this is configuration, right? So only this time it will run the price rules. All these rules will be applied. So if you change the quantity or if you are doing any calculations here, so your product price rules will run at that time. So you have two types of requirement. You want to run the price rule on the quote line editor screen, or you want to run on configurator screen. So I will say calculator for now. And the change is, if I selected calculator, you need to give the event as well. So calculator evaluation event. This is again very important. I will come back to that. Right, this is again very important to decide the sequencing. If I selected calculator here, so it means that price rule will run quote line editor, and there are few other places as well. I will come back to that when you want to run the price rule, right? So calculate, if I provide evaluation scope as calculator, you need to provide evaluation event as well. And if I selected configurator, you need to provide configurator evaluation event. So what is this configurator evaluation? There are only two things, edit and save, right? So when you go to the configuration screen, you have one button, save, and second button is when you are changing quantity or anything, when you want to run. Save means most of the cases is save, because whatever you are changing on that screen, configurator screen, third screen we discuss, once that is those changes are done, once you hit the last save button, only that time your price rule will run, that is save. And if it is edit, that means every time, means if you change the quantity and if you click outside, it will run, right? And none means it will take the save as your by default value, right? So this is about if you selected configurator. If you have not selected configurator, you are selecting calculator, you don't need to specify this value, because this is specific to configurator and this is specific to calculator. So if you selected calculator here, you need to select this value. So in the this is the again events when you want to run the price rule. So there are 4 events actually: on initialization, on calculate, before calculate, after calculate. So let me show you the sequence here. So actually the first event is on initialization. On initialization, then there is before calculate event. This is how it works. Then on calculate price rule will run. On calculate price rule, and then after calculate. So it's similar to your triggers actually, before insert, after insert trigger, right? So this is how your events are scheduled. So you can see 4 event: on initialization, before calculate, on calculate, and after calculate. So what it means, when you are actually initializing the document, I mean not document, when you are actually initializing this code line editor, so when you go to the cancel, if I click on edit lines, when you are initializing your code line editor screen is initializing, right? So at that time, all your initialization, this uh, on initialization will run. So let me remove this back, only on initialization, right? Once on initialization done, if I click on calculate button, right? Once I click on calculate button, similar to your before trigger, after triggers, it will run all before calculate price rules. It's just to run sequence, decide the sequence. So if I click on calculate button, it will run 3 events there: before calculate, on calculate, and after calculate, right? So it will run all before calculate, then on calculate, and then after calculate. So this is how your sequencing is. So all price rule on initialization will run first, then before calculate, then on calculate, and then after calculate. So let me decide here. So for example, your on initialization is like this. So even the combination of these two things will decide which price rule will pick first. So for example, this is on initialization. This is my 6th rule is on initialization. This before calculate is this one. I'm just giving you few price rules there. On calculate, after calculate, right? And then I'm saying on initialization to 4th one as well. And then I'm saying on calculate. What will happen in that case, right? This is how you can think. So my evaluation order is first. This is all evaluation order is first, but it's saying after calculate, right? So if it is saying after calculate and your evaluation order is first, then in that case, your this will rule will take the precedence, but your event is saying after calculate, so it will not take the precedence. What it will do, it will take what is the next one, second one, that is before calculate, right? Third one is on calculate. So fourth one is on initialization, right? So what it will do, don't confuse on that. So first rule will work on after calculate. So what it means, for example, your rule is saying update your discount after calculation is done, right? So all other price rules will executed on initialization will take higher precedence. So this will run first on initialization, right? So this will run first, this will run second. Why I'm saying this is first, because it's on initialization. It has evaluation scope will come in next picture. I have 2 price rule on initialization. Based on your evaluation order, it will decide the precedence now, because I have 2 price rules. So evaluation order comes in picture only if I have 2 events on the same with the same name. So on initialization will run first, as I mentioned here. Second is second and on initialization, second price rule will run. Third one is on calculate. right? So, but on calculate we have two events. But in that case, your evaluation order will be considered. So it will run at 3, and this will run at 4th place. And then after on calculate, your before calculate, sorry, not on calculate, sorry, it's my bad. So what I'm trying to say, your on initialization is completed, then your before calculate trigger will fire all the price rule on the before calculate. So my before calculate is this one. So it will take the third precedence to run the calculation. Then I am saying on calculate event. So on calculate, how many are there? This one and this one. So based on your evaluation order, it will decide the precedence now, because I have two rules with the same event. In that case, your evaluation order will comes in picture. So it will run at 4th place and this will run at 5th place. And then the last one is after calculate. So this will run at last place. So this is how your price rules will run based on your the criteria that you defined here before on. And this is very important from architect side or technical side. If I have 100 price rule defined in your company, 100 price rule, so your calculation sequence and everything should be correct, otherwise it will create multiple issues, right? So let me move forward. So I said like condition mates is all any or custom, because we discussed these things on a product rule. So I'm saying this is all set up. That's it. My price rule is ready. My price rule will, what it will do, it will run on calculator. I mean, whenever quote line editor is there, it will run. And there are multiple things actually, again, like when your price rule will run. This is the one example. When you click on calculate button, it will try to run, but there are few more triggering places or locations where we can run or forcefully run the price rule. So I will come back to that, but these are the very simple things. So let me open the existing price rule which I created. It will have similar names, right? So this is similar rule, your evaluation order, calculator, all these things are similar actually. So this is all your about price rule when you want to run your price rule, right? But the question is, it's good, like, but it will run every time, right? So that's the reason price conditions comes in picture when you actually want to run this price condition. My price condition is whenever you have offer code populated here, then and then I want to run and apply the discount. That's a straightforward requirement. So what you need to do, you need to write price condition. That price condition will check your offer code, right? If you go there, if you check object here, so what you need to do, you need to create price condition similar to your product condition. Nothing is changing there. Similar to your product rule, price rule is there. So object is which object you want to check. You can check quote line, product option, summary variable. Summary variable is something we will discuss. You don't know about this, but product option, quote line, and quote you are aware. So I want to check quote objects field, that is offer code equals to, right, equals to value Diwali 21. So if I enter Diwali 21, it should give some discounts. So if I save this record, okay, let me go back to price rule again. So I created price rule, I created condition. So this price rule will only run if I entered offer code to Diwali 21, right? But now the point here is you want to apply some discount, so you want to take some action. Yes, that's correct. You created price rule, you created condition, but what is your action? So that's the reason price action comes in picture. So what is this price action? This will tell Salesforce CPQ that if your price conditions are true, go and apply 15% discount. So what you need to do, as I mentioned in the definition of the price rule, you can go and update and quote lines fields. So what you need to do, you have target object that you can go and update quote field, quote line field, product option field. So right now what we are going to do, if you remember, like what is the manual discount we are, uh, what is, let me go to the related list. My network is very slow today. So if I go to the related list, if you remember where we are applying manual discounts on quote line object, I discussed, if you remember, there are two fields to apply manual discounts, right? So this additional discount field is where we are applying manual discount, whatever you want to give, 10%, 20%. Those are the additional discount. Option discount is different thing, discount schedule is different thing. But if you are adding anything manually, that will be taken care inside this particular field. So what you need to do, this field is present on quote line object. Okay, so you need to go to the quote line object, give the discount percent. This is the field which is I'm referring from here, discount percentage. So its name, API name is discount percentage. So you are giving 15% discount to that. Let me save this. So my price rule is ready. So let me repeat whatever we did, right? So what we did, we created price rule for calculator evaluation event. We added price conditions there. So it will run for only for the offer code divided 31, 21. And then my price action is to just update the price. So let me go to the code. And there are different triggering points to calculate the code. Calculate code means run the price rule. So let me apply offer code here. This is divided 21, right? If I save this, right? If I save this, I'm pretty sure this code has some discount. So let me go to the another code. Maybe this one. This is amendment or renewal. Let me check. Otherwise, let's create new one. This is amendment. So let me create new code actually just to test this functionality, because we discuss multiple things of discounting, option discount, partner discount, distributor discount. So that will create multiple issues there. So let me create new opportunity from here. Test. Maybe I can give your batch name directly there. Batch admin. So I can use same opportunity every day. Okay, on that opportunity, just go to that opportunity and just create your code. It's taking time, I'm not sure. Let me save that code. So let me go to the edit lines. I have not applied any offer code here. Just want to check if I'm adding correct products, right? So if I select price book, if I click on add products, if I go to any product that we created inside this Norton antivirus bundle, maybe I can select Norton 500, which has $400 price, right? So it has $400 price, but it got 360. Maybe it has some other pricing methods. So let me go to the product section. That's the issue. Like we set up the products in such a way that all the product options have some discounting or something like that, right? So let me add other product. Otherwise, this is discount schedule. You can see here. We added discount schedule to that product. If I go to the mechanical bundle, just want to add one product and show you the brand new discount at 10%. Maintenance, for example, it has $100 price, right? Yeah. So this is the product where we have $100 price. Even if I calculate here, uh, it will not change anything because your price rule is active, but your condition is not true, right? Why? Because if I save this now, your quote will have $100 of net total, but your condition is not true because offer code is not populated there yet. So on quote, you can see your net amount is $100. Your additional discount is 0%. Even if you go to the quote line as well, right? So here you can see you don't have any discount here. So this is the manual discount which is coming. So whatever we have performed. So now let me do that. offer code. So it's Diwali 21, and let me save this code. So what will happen? Nothing will change even. Still, nothing is changed. Your net amount is $100. Your discount is 0. You're on quote line as well. Discount is 0. But there is one more triggering point to calculate. We have calculate button on quote object as well. So if you go to the quote all fields and if you click on calculate button, it will run all your price rules and it will update your quote and quote lines. Right? Your price rules are completed. You will see some of the changes here now. Right? So I can see 15% discount is applied, whatever we are expecting, and your actual price was $100. It was reduced by 10%, right? Even if you go to the quote line, I don't see any additional discount percentage here. Your price will change and discount will come there because your price rule is running to update 15% there, right? If I go to down, so to the discounting, yeah, I can see 15% is applied. Total discount amount is $15. So that's the reason your net total and everything got changed here. So your final price is $35. So this is the simple example where we are applying the prices, but you can have more requirements based on that. It's not like something related to discounting you are updating. If you want to update something, pricing method, not pricing method, sorry. For example, you want to update renewal for a checkbox, or you created something custom on this quote line, you want to update any field on quote and quote line object, price rule is the solution. So just keep in mind, similar to your workflow process builder, if you want to update quote and quote line objects field, you can use the price rules. Okay, I can see couple of questions someone was posting. Nutan, okay. Is it possible for me to change evaluation event as per my requirement, or is it always on initialization on before on calculator? Sorry, this question is for, okay. No, I mean, you cannot change. I mean, I'm not pretty sure, but for your question, but you have only these evaluation events. You cannot add your custom evaluation event. But as per requirement, as per your requirement, you can change that. But when you are changing, make sure that your price rule is not impacted because of other price rule, or because of your price rule, other price rules are not impacted. For example, let's take example. As part of this your price rule, you are updating discount percentage, manual discount, right? So your price rule will run at first place. So if anyone is using net total, they should get correct total with the discount amount. So for example, you have one first price rule which is giving 15% discount, which will change your net total, and another price rule is using net total to calculate some other fields, right? So you should follow the sequencing correctly. You should make sure that everything is correctly set up, because if your price rule is running at last to give discount, your first price rule will get $100 amount, but that is not the case. Your actual price is $85, but if you are running your price rule at last, that will create multiple issues. So you should follow that sequencing.
Okay,
Okay,
thank
that's
you,
a good
Rahul.
question.
Just a follow-up question on that. So, this is, I mean, this is right. If there are many more than one price rules are defined, then probably we'll need to take care of the sequencing. But then,
Yeah.
is there a recommended limit given by Salesforce on the number of price
No,
rules we can have?
no, there is no limit, but obviously there is performance issues. We faced that 2 years back. So if you have, in my company right now, actually when we started implementing Salesforce CPQ, my architect and technical solutioning, what we decided, like everything, whatever you know about process builder workflow rules or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So in workflow and process builder, we are updating some field values or quote and quote object, for example. So my technical architects and everyone suggested, like, don't use process builder, directly use price rule if you want to update anything. Don't worry about pricing related. Anything if you want to update, you can use price rule. That's the reason we reached 200 limit. I mean, not the limit, it will not stop you to create, but 200
But
price will
it's a
be
large
created.
number. Yeah.
And it directly, when you go to the edit lines here, when you go to the edit lines button, right? So it was taking almost 1 or 2 minutes. And even
Oh,
calculation right now, if I
performance
click
would be
on calculate
impacted.
button, exactly. So if I click on calculate button, it will try to run all price rule, right? But if you're price rules are 200, 300, it will take more time to calculate. This screen will, this things will happen. This black screen, or sorry, white screen will get. Right now I have only 2. That's the reason it's refreshing with the speed. But if you have multiple, performance issue will be there.
So apart from performance, my question was basically like you said you have 100 price rules defined in the system, right? So
Yes.
somebody, it will cause dependency and complexity, because how you will know like what is the logic, or you would need to keep it on your fingertips, right? For 100 price rules, what is the logic, what is the sequence I'm following for this particular price rule and for the next rule and so on.
Yeah, that's the reason it's very difficult. Like when you are actually implementing that project, new project, then that's good. So we are maintaining the document. Actually in my company as well, we have 100 price rule, we have 100 the document created, this price rule is doing this. Not that much major complex logic, but at least this is the price rule name, and this is the evaluation event for that, and this is the logic written inside that. For example, we are populating 15% discount, or so everyone from your team should get this knowledge transfer. Otherwise there is no other way. Yeah, so anyone go, and if you recruit new developer and they are writing whatever they want, it will not help. That will override something. So if your custom business is very complex and everything, you should prepare document, the core KT and everything should go there. You should review all these things. That's the reason price rules are very difficult to manage. I mean, not difficult to
Yes.
manage, it's up to developer. I mean, what type of developer we have. If they are not caring and writing the price rule whatever they want, it will not work. But someone is there to judge them. It might be some technical architects or someone. They will not allow these types of things, because at least they are aware on these things. So, but obviously
Yeah.
you should take extreme care when you are defining evaluation event and evaluation scope for that. And
Okay, Rahul, thanks.
to answer to our another question, product rule and price rule. Product rules are only running on the product screen, your product screen. Those will not run on anywhere. I mean, your code, calculate button, those are price rule. Product rule will only applied on the configure product screen, because those are specific to your that particular product. Even on product rules, we are applying that to the specific product. So if you are adding that product, only that time you are running that particular product rule, and it will only run on the configure product screen. Price rule is something which will run on code line editor as well as that configure product screen. So if you think on configure product screen, I am saying configure product screen, you are running product rule as well as price rule. But in that case, your product rules will take higher precedence and your price rule will take second precedence, because product rule is something is guiding you to select the product, and price rule is something you're allowing you to change some pricing. So first precedence will go to the product rule and then price rule. But it will happen only the case of if you are selecting configurator here. Otherwise, uh, you don't need to worry about. And there are actually multiple triggering points, I will say, when your price rule will be run. So as I mentioned, when you click on code object, you have calculate button, right? On code object, you have calculate button. If you go to the edit lines object, let me show you the triggering event. I mean, when your price rule will run, how many places are there? When it's loading, it's initializing, it will run. When you click on calculate button, it will run. When you click on save button, it will run. On quick save, it will run. I think I have that PPT as well. Let me show you that. Yeah, not this one. Yeah. So when you select the calculate in the line editor, it will run price rule, this calculate button. Whenever you add products or delete lines in the line editor, it will run price rule. So whenever you are adding product, it's trying to run some rules. When you save that, it will run the price rule. So whenever you deleting as well, it will try to run the price rule. Right? So whenever you're deleting as well, it will run the price rule. So adding product, deleting product as well, it will run the price rule, because you need to change the pricing here. Whenever you click on save and quick save in the line editor. So when you click on save, obviously it will run. Quick save as well, all price rule will run. Edits a code line using the edit button. So if you go to the actual code line as well, I'm just explaining all the triggering events. If you go to the code line as well, if you just edit here, right? If you just edit here and save as well, if you change something on not editor, I'm saying this particular code line. If you save that code line, it will again run the price rule. Then if you click calculate on quote detail page, so you know about calculate button I just explained on quote object. Then the last point is if you are inserting or updating quote line through Apex, workflow rules, process builder flow via data loader process, it will run price rule. So what it means, last statement, anywhere from anywhere, for example, you are updating some 100 or 1000 of quote line, legacy quote line to update some of the field values. Make sure that your data loader batch size is less than 10, because when you are actually editing anything on quote line, it will try to run price rule. If I have 100 price rules, I mean quote lines on one quote, it will run 100 into how many price rules are there. So make sure your limit is very important. You cannot run more than 10 lines at a time, so batch size should be less than 10 in that case. So these are the, I can say, triggering points to run your price rules. Just read it out and ask any questions if you have.
Rahul, can you show us the price condition screen once more, please?
Yes. And we have to, again, I will come back to this price action and price condition. There are few more fields I have to discuss. Yeah.
So basically, we are setting this field value as Diwali 21. Yeah. So this filter value, is it a text value? Is it a pick list?
No, it's text value. Its value
Okay.
is something you can enter whatever you want. Yeah. So it's variable in formula as well that I'm coming actually. Just understand this basic and then we'll come back to this variable.
Got it. Just for the demo purpose, basically, we are saying that if this is the value, then condition
Yeah.
is met, and then rule would be triggered.
You can write your formula as well, like the Diwali 21, what you want to do, multiple formulas. So I will come back to that. But right now, just imagine that this is text value. And anyways, like filter value will be always text value. It will not be. This is Salesforce standard field. It's not our field actually.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay. So there is one more thing I want to discuss regarding your when your price rule will run, right? Even I discussed these many places, but there is one more there is one more place which we can use to run price rule. That is the next slide actually. So there is one field set. If you remember, I have discussing on field set product time as well. So that's the reason some field sets are coming. We will discuss at part of those sessions. So if you go to the, sometimes what happens, if you go to the quote object, as I mentioned, nothing is running from quote object, right? So if I change something on quote object, for example, offer code, only that time you want to run price rule. Are you getting my scenario? For example, if I'm changing offer code to Diwali 21 to Diwali 22, something should change, and at that time you want to forcefully run your price rule to have latest prices updated here. Otherwise, those goods will be booked automatically by your sales rep. They will not care on that. So whenever your offer code is changed, you want to run price rule from quote object. So what you need to do, Salesforce CPQ provided one of the field set on quote object. If you go to the field sets on quote object, there is one field set, calculating fields. So what is this field set? In that field set, Salesforce CPQ added some of the fields. Primary, if you change primary checkbox here, it will run price rules. If you change additional discount, it will change price rule. These are the fields. If you change type, it will run the price rule, even if you change the type. So these are the standard fields coming with the package. So if I change these fields, automatically your price rule will run. So you want to run price rule for offer code as well, just drag and drop here. Salesforce CPQ automatically run price rule when your offer code is changed. So this is very, very important field set, which can be used to run your price rule at forcefully. I mean, on demand, you don't need to worry about. So forcefully, whenever you're changing something, it's logical, right? If you're changing offer code, obviously I want to run price rule. Who will wait for that? Someone, for example, by mistakenly sales rep forgot to calculate this code, it will be approved. It will get different types of issues. So that's the reason we can run the price rule based on your code spill as well. That is the one of the field set provided by Salesforce CPQ.
So
The
Rahul,
name is calculating field set.
just to summarize it once more, I'm sorry I'm interrupting, just trying to understand it once more. So you're saying
Yeah.
whenever we need to, whenever we update the value basically of this filter value, then my price rule should be automatically updated and executed. And in order to achieve that, we need to basically add that field value to filters, field sets, right?
Exactly. So
Okay.
once we have whatever the values or whatever the fields we have in the field set, if those fields are changed by any way by sales rep, automatically your sales price rules will be running in that case, and it will execute, those price rules will execute, and my values will be updated based on price rule actions.
All right. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. And even one more thing here. The catch here is, for example, these are the fields which are coming with the package. If you remove, I don't want to run your price rule on primary. If you remove as well, still it will run the price rule on primary checkbox. So the irrespective of if you are removing fields from here or anything, these are the standard fields coming with the package. I added those fields here, all field. These are the standard field added by package. So it doesn't matter like if you are adding those or removing here, still it will run the price rule, because that is Salesforce CPQ is not allowing, because sometimes you will go and change the end. I don't want to run price rule on end date. No, that is not supported. If you are removing from here, Salesforce has their own logic to run the price rule. So whatever the fields I have mentioned here, these are the standard fields coming with your package. So those will trigger the price rule creation, right? So don't worry, I mean, don't change that. Okay, coming back to my PPT, let me see like how many PPTs have we covered. So we covered price rule, it will change your quote and quote line fields. We completed price rule related fields. Then we completed price conditions. Then these are the different fields. Then price actions, and then configuration evaluation event. We completed none, save, and edit. Then we completed this CPQ code calculation sequence, like when your actual calculation will start, when, and then we completed calculating field set, right? This is the important thing given as well. You can read that. So multiple things are there. For example, because of you edited quote line, you changed quote level fields, so multiple things happened at same place on quote object, and all price rule will not run. I mean, all price rule will run, but it should not run. For example, I updated quote line, at the same time I updated quote as well by using data loader or something, which quote is also triggering the price rules, quote line is also triggering the price rules, but only one time it will run these price rules, because it will not run those price rules multiple times in fraction of seconds. So that is the thing we have added here. Okay, and as I mentioned, all your, this is the loading and initialization. I added multiple steps here, loading products, options, and lookup. Don't worry about that, just focus on the bold item. So all on initialization price rules will run first, all on initialization. Then all before calculate price rule will run first. Then all your on calculate price rules will run, and then your all after calculate price rules will run, right? So this and final round is like it will calculate all your formula fields and everything. So I just copy pasted these things, but when you are actually expert in that, you will understand like uh, all these things here. I mean, all the how it will take the precedence. I mean, calculated fixed item, calculate dynamic items, calculate total. So once we're done with some of the fields, you will understand like sequencing here. So it's just like I added here, but it doesn't need to, you don't need to worry. Even I am not worrying about this, because who will focus on who, this is lookup relationship, formula fields. So all these things will calculate, and then your all initialization will work, and then your all plugins will work. So if you have external plugin to Salesforce billing or any other thing, so all these things will happen. I just copy pasted these things from Trailheads, but you don't need to really worry on this. You don't just need to focus on what is sequencing here, on initialization, before calculate, on calculate, after calculate. Just I added, like if you are more interested to learn that, you can start learning on that side as well. Any questions whatever we discussed as of now?
Rahul, this is Nutan again. Seems I get all the questions. I don't know. I'm probably not
No
understanding
worries,
anything.
no worries
Okay,
at all.
so the
You can
so the
ask.
PPT you were showing, right? In that Garner's limit, you were mentioning at one of the slide.
Which limit? Sorry.
Gardner limit. Gardner limit. Um,
Governor limits for this particular
yes,
slide, right?
this one, slide number
Yeah.
1 to 12. Right. So here, what they're saying, they will basically set a flag for the first time whenever CPQ will trigger this price rule, right? So that
Exactly.
it should not be triggered again via workflow rule or process builder updates or any other way, right? Now let's say
Exactly.
if I'm trying to achieve some calculation through CPQ and somehow it failed, or in some condition I may need to do it through process builder or workflow rule later. So probably the only solution would be that I'll need to delete it from CPQ and then do it in the process builder or workflow rule, right? Because if a flag is set, then it will
No,
stop
you
me.
mean no, it will not stop you. That flag will reset again quickly once your complete operation is completed. It's not like every time that flag is just temporary. For example, let's say you have code there, you updated offer code. So you updated offer code, your calculation will start because you added that offer code in your field set. For example, when you save that code, maybe you have some automation in process builder or workflow rules which will update your code lines for
Hmm.
other logic. I'm saying based on our code
Right.
logic you can update. So in that case, multiple triggering events are there. Code line is updating, your code is updated, your multiple things happening, right? So in that
Hmm.
case, Salesforce CPQ will make sure your price rule will run only one time. It should not run every time. For example, you updated offer code, it will run, but in the same transaction, you are updating code lines as well. If you remember, like there are some logics, maybe I'm not sure, but for example, opportunity or account, if you work on Salesforce, then if you are updating something on quote object, for example, you
Hmm.
want to copy that offer code to quote lines as well. Okay, whatever you are
Okay.
updating on quote level offer code, you want to trickle down that value to your quote lines. So what you will do, you will write process builder for that, for example. So it will take care
Hmm.
of copying the quote level value to the quote line. That is
Hmm.
one automation that you did with the help of process builder. Now you are saying once offer code is changed, give the discount of 15%. You have written this logic in price rule. So you have two automation tools, price rules and process builder, which are updating in same transaction. I mean, when you
Right,
change
but the
offer code,
part which price rule has updated will not be updated by process builder.
exactly. But in that case, when you change, go to the code, edit code, if you add offer code there, once you hit on the save button, your process builder also will work and even price rule will also work. So that is the order of execution. Again, that is Salesforce topic. If you
Okay,
remember,
so
like
you're
you know
saying
the
it
Salesforce.
whenever value will be changed, it price rule would be re-triggered basically.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Okay.
Salesforce it's not Salesforce CPQ, Salesforce order of execution. If you remember, then that will work. So which things will run first, which things will run after triggers and order of execution, right? So
Right.
those things very important from Salesforce side. Workflow will run first, so triggers will run
Hmm.
first, then workflow, then process builder, then all these things. So these types of things, and your last thing is price rule. So that's a very important thing. You need to make sure, right? So
Right.
maybe
Okay.
here it will not cover your yeah, but just check your order of execution of Salesforce, so it will give you more idea on what will happen, because these things will create conflicts. So only that time it will check that flag, and once your transaction is completely committed, then it will reset that, because next time you have to change, you have to again run price rule if you are changing offer code. So it's just for
Hmm.
your transactions purpose.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Thanks, Rahul. I got it now. It's very much clear.
Yeah, no worries. Anyone, any questions, confusion on price rules? Okay. So tomorrow we will complete some of the tested formula, tested variables. So these are some of the fields I want to discuss with you, and then we can discuss on the summary variable, because this summary variable is again used inside the price rule. So we have next topic, that is summary variable. I just segregated that topic, but it's again related to price rule. We need to write price rule here. So let's discuss that tomorrow but again I need to discuss price condition, price rules, because these summary variables are being used inside the price rule and product rules as well. So let's continue writing formulas tomorrow. What is the use of this formula? Because we are writing file field value here. So what is the use of this summary variable here? What is the use of formula here? So let's discuss that tomorrow. Same time we can connect and we'll discuss that. Okay. And actually one more
Thanks,
updates from my
Ram.
side. I will be sharing. I already done with the some of the assignments. So I'm almost like 17 assignments. So I will share that tomorrow end of day to everyone. So you can practice in your own time. That is not something for me, it's something for you, but I just prepared to just share those with you and you can practice those things. So those 17 assignments from product, price rule, pricing, discounting, those I will share tomorrow. So Sheetal can share those assignments to everyone. Okay. Any last comment? Okay. So let's connect tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Rahul. Bye.